At the end of the day, I was brought back for a reason. I didn't know that until about 3, 4 years down the road. I came in the Air Force because I grew up in a small town, and I grew up in a middle-class family. So my family didn't really have money to pay for my college. And I was indecisive at football, so athletic scholarship was out of the picture basically. Out of basic training, I went to Intel Tech School. I was in school there for about 4 or 5 months, and they pulled me out of class saying that my voice wasn't clear enough. At the time, I was kind of lost and I was confused because I wanted to make my own decisions, but at that point, I knew that I couldn't make my decisions anymore. And so I went into finance with optimism. I was at Keesler for 3 months. And then I went to Maxwell, which is about an hour and a half from Dothan, where I was born. Well, everything was going good to a point. Then I got moved off base, and I was off base for 2 weeks. And then that first tragedy struck me, which I got held at gunpoint by 3 guys and 2 guns. He had a gun pointed to my temple. And they told me to get on the floor, get on my knees. So I did that. And then they started making a series of demands. The other 2 guys took my car to my bank, and they used my credit card and withdrew $400. They came back, and they pretty much told me to get in the trunk of my own car. I took off running at that point in a zigzag line, like you see in the movies, and I started screaming to the top of my lungs, and that scared them, because that's when they got in their car, and they stole my car, and they took off. And so at that point, I started suffering from post-traumatic stress. Having a gun pointed at your head and not knowing what the other guy's thinking, it's a completely different story, because he could pull the trigger within the next second. So I thought everything was gonna go uphill, be fine, but I still had that post-traumatic stress. And then about 2 weeks later, I got in a really bad car accident. My front of my car was totaled. It was like a roller coaster ride, that motion, ups and downs. Because after that, my personal life, it took a spin. My grandfather passed away. That's when I got the news that my mom had colon cancer. After you get the news that my mom had colon cancer, I'm going to try to be positive and get through this. So I made the decision that I was going to go out and win Airman of the Quarter on base level. So 3 months later, I went to the award ceremony. I was up for Honor Guard Member of the Quarter, I was up for Volunteer of the Quarter, and I was up for Airman of the Quarter. But during that time frame of those 3 months, from January to March, after I had found out my mom had developed colon cancer, her baby brother had passed away. I was down, even though on the outside I was positive and happy because all that stuff just happened. But you're happy at one point, and then it's like a train hits you and it derails you for a little bit. With my mom being sick, every time I'd go home, I'd see something new. New skin, rashes, and she started losing her. And like over that next year, it got to the point where she couldn't talk hardly, and she couldn't walk, she couldn't take care of herself. I knew it was gonna be my mom's last Christmas. My mom was the most important person in my life. Like she developed me more than anybody. And after she passed away, I've had a void in my heart. I almost committed suicide. I got my 9mm and I loaded it up, took the safety off. I put my finger on the trigger and I put the gun at my temple, and I was about to pull the trigger, but at that point, another presence fell over me. Like I couldn't see it, but I couldn't hear it, but at the same time I could feel it. And so I put the gun down. So, since I couldn't sleep anyways, I went to the base. I took off running as fast as I could. At that point, I just wanted to run as fast as I could, to let my heart maybe give out. But I fell to my knees. I was like, why? Why, God? Why is all this happening to me? Like, he was trying to develop me. It's like he has greater plans for me than I have for myself. We often ask, like, why do these bad things happen to us? And we're good people. But bad things happen to develop you. I didn't really get back to my normal self until after I started talking to people. This kind of helped me shift my focus, because I want to be the best I can be while I help other people. Those are my passions. Eventually, I want to be in a work environment to where I'm focusing on those, because I want to incorporate my passions into my work life. Either become a registered dietitian or to own a personal training studio. It's a stress reliever too. After a long day at work, I go to the gym and vent. And I'll vent through words, I vent through working my butt off. Also, when I'm at a book, just to share my story, because if you don't find anything to occupy your time and your thoughts, then you're gonna keep thinking about what happened.